Hi guys, this is Pestily and welcome to my first marathon video. Today I'll be talking about my first impressions of marathon, everything that I've learnt over my first 8 or 10 hours of playing it, and just an overall understanding of what the game is for you guys. So without further ado, let's crack straight into it. Alright, so starting off, Marathon is a game made by Bungie, the people who made Destiny and Halo, and you can instantly tell that it's like this game has some sort of like inspiration from that game. So some of the guns look like Halo guns, and some of the gameplay actions feel like Destiny actions. So you'll understand that as soon as you start looking and playing at this game. Alright, so first off, I want to talk about the aesthetics of this game. Visually, as you're playing this game, it's based on this planet that is very bright and colorful. However, when you're outside of buildings, it's very foggy and it's kind of like blurry almost. It just looks yucky. But when you go inside buildings or inside point of interest, POIs, it's very, very detailed and lush, and it's actually really cool. I know this whole kind of look that they're going for will really detract some people from wanting to even try this game, but in my opinion, it actually looks really cool when you're actually inside buildings. If they could remove some of the fog from outside, I think it would actually really enhance the experience, particularly for being outside, and also it would just look more pretty, luscious, beautiful when you're outside. The gameplay loop is pretty much the exact same of any other type of extractor shooter. You go into a raid or an instance, whatever you want to call it, you fight your way out and you keep what you find, and if you die, you lose everything you went in with. Some of the things to note: there is no secure container, there is no like key card holder or key holder. Everything you go in with, if you die, you will literally lose everything. It's actually way more hardcore than some of the extractor shooter attempts that people have made in the past. I actually really like it. It actually gives that real feel that you actually are going in with like everything and you are risking everything you take in, including keys. If you find a key, you'll have to actually take it in with you. It does add to a little bit of the intensity and the immersion of the game, whereas it's not just like, I can just go in and not give a fuck. Now, they do say that this is a game that you will play as like a 3-man, and there is a feel with that. You do actually can VoIP with the actual people in your team, but you can't VoIP with people outside of your team. However, I have tried playing this game solo, and it is rough. Like, it is not designed at all with solo in mind. And I know during the interview that I watched a week or two ago, they were talking about, yeah, you could definitely like, rat out people and get kills and do all that. Once you kill someone, it is so easy, even if you fully kill them, that the remaining 2 players to come in and just absolutely crump you, because there's so many abilities, and it's a hero shooter. And I probably should have mentioned that earlier. Part of the gameplay loop is it's a hero shooter, so you've got 4 different classes to pick from. I think it's gonna be 6 on release, and they have abilities. So the one I normally play, I don't honestly remember the name, but you press the Q button and it will literally just wall hack everything within like 100 meters of you and show you exactly the location of those people within 100 meters. So if you're ratting, you're going to get found out pretty quick. And then obviously everyone else has different abilities to help find you. You could easily just do a trade kill as well. So if there's only one person, someone's ratting, if once you do know the location, you stick on top of each other, the time to kill makes it really difficult to actually get that final to get all 3 kills very quickly. Like in Tarkov, which is the history I come from, if you head tap someone, they just fall over and die. So if a 5-man pushes you and you do a good enough spray, you could technically kill 5 people in 5 bullets. So that doesn't work in this game. That doesn't happen. So I don't think this is even soloable at all, realistically. You could find some sort of enjoyment from it, but part of the gameplay loop, it is a 3v3 game, and it should be designed and targeted as a 3v3 game, or 3v3v3v3v3. It's a 15 to 18 player map each time you load in. Currently, there are 2 maps available in the alpha test. It's meant to be 3 on 1.0, and apparently I think there's a 4th map in development that's meant to be super innovative. I think from what I've heard, it's meant to be like some sort of like spaceship map or something. I don't know. I don't want to put rumors out there, but that's what I heard from people that were playing the game. Now, as it being an extractor shooter, the things to do whilst you're playing, you go in, you kill stuff, you loot, and you get out. Once you get out, you are leveling up your skills. The way the skills work is each of the traders have like upgrades you can do. This can be stuff that will give you extra stash space, give you, faster looting speed, faster revive times, and stuff like that. So the whole purpose of all the loot that you're getting out is primarily to upgrade either your skills or your upgrades inside your base, and also to complete your quest from the traders. And last but not least, for the actual layout of the game, it's a live service game. So once you start playing, every 3 months, I don't know the actual dates, but every few months or whatever, it's going to be adding more content, more maps, more things to do, and goes on from there. I'm going to go into the good, the bad, and the unknown. I think that's probably the best way of wording this. And from my initial 8 hours of playing over a couple of sessions. First up, for good, I've got the lore. Now, most games, particularly in the extractor shooter, when they do try to get into this actual extractor shooter genre, they kind of forget about the lore. There's like, we just need to make a good game, right? And that's all well and good, but I kind of feel like the actual depth of a game like Escape from Tarkov, which is what I come from, the lore is actually kind of important. Like, you're a dude that got left behind from the Bear faction, and you're trying to survive and escape from Tarkov. BSG, Battlestate Games, have made, like, live action videos about this stuff. There's in-game events that talk about this, and eventually, when 1.0 comes out in Escape from Tarkov, you will be able to escape from Tarkov. There is actually the dream of the end of escaping from Tarkov. Now, I know people don't think about it often, but that in the back of the mind is the whole purpose of the game, and it's literally in the title. Having the lore within Marathon, there is actually a lot going on. I could get this kind of wrong, but pretty much there's like microchips that are the people's consciousness, and they're like getting cloned over and over again, and you're going into like this world, and I don't actually fully understand what the hell is going on in the end, which I think is explained through the actual game itself, but I'm under the impression that there's some sort of overlord that you'll have to conquer. And this becomes very prevalent as you do the quest for the actual game. They've actually gone to the effort of doing like videos and like audio tapes and stuff that when you actually complete a quest, it'll load up a video and it'll actually talk to you more about what's going on next. Now, obviously, this is still in alpha testing, so it's not fully flushed out, but this kind of stuff is what actually helps people get really immersed in the actual game and the gameplay experience and gameplay loop. They even went all the way into making a live, like, short movie that they released during the trailer with like a professional, like, I don't know, world-class director. It actually was really cool, kind of headfunk, like an acid trip, but realistically, if you haven't gone and seen it, you should. It's actually pretty cool. If you're interested in Marathon, I think it actually kind of gives a bit of perspective of what the game is about. That's for my next point. The game is very enjoyable if you go in with a solid squad. When I was playing solo, I was getting crumped on. Things weren't going well. Playing with randoms, they're kind of off doing their own thing. You get destroyed because you can't take on squads because your squad's playing like an idiot. It really is quite frustrating trying to play with randoms. However, with a solid squad, it is really fun. I do premise this every time I say it. When you play a video game or anything, you can literally do anything in life with your mates, and you can kind of find it fun. Throwing sticks at a wall or a fence, trying to see if you can hit the log or something. That can be fun with mates. Literally anything you do with mates is pretty much fun. I do like to premise that, but you don't even really have to do it with friends. If you can just get a solid squad together, this is actually really good. The combat is very fast moving. There's a lot going on. When combat does hit, you are like, there's a guy going from here to here that's doing this event. Oh, I'm using my ability. And it's like, it is like a lot of yelling. Obviously, people need to like clean up their comms, but it's kind of cool. It does feel like you get really immersed into the combat once it hits, and it happens very quickly. Like the combat, once it starts, it gets really full on very quickly. Now, I know this is only a little one, but they actually give updates of what actually has been changed or what they're working on within the game. There's like a news feed that if you want to check it out, it's all within the game. I come from a game, Escape from Tarkov. If you don't have social media, you have no idea what's going on in Escape from Tarkov. They'll do changes to the game. You won't even know about it. It's just 2025. Tarkov's been out for like 8 years. They still don't give you information within the game of what's actually going on. They have a launcher, which no one even looks at. They just literally open up, press play. It has no information really of what's been changed. This one actually puts it inside the game for you, which is a good thing. Next up, once you're inside the actual map and you're actually exploring around the world, there's a lot of things to do. You can not only just do looting and killing of players, but there's stuff like incursions, which is like you go do like events within the actual map itself, and these are like located in different locations within each map. There's missions that you obviously have to do, the tasks for the traders. There's high value targets, so there'll be like a little boss AI around the map for you to kill, and just random events going on. Like there's AI dropping in from different locations. It's got a lot going on as you're actually playing the game. So you don't really feel like when you land, there's nothing to do. You actually constantly feel like, oh, I could go over here. Oh, we should go over here. We could go loot over here. Oh, there's combat going on over there. There is a lot to do, and it feels like it's a world of actually things happening. It's not just like, I don't know what's going on. Like, there actually feels like there's a lot going on. All right, so for the negatives and things that they can improve on, at the moment, you can only pick one task to do at the same time. There's 3 traders. You can get dailies, it looks like, from some of them. You can only pick one thing to do. So I think it's a design choice. So you have to go in deliberately with a purpose of doing that one thing and not just be like, oh, I'm going to tick off all these boxes and just rush through the game. It could just be a design choice, but personally, I don't like it because I'm the kind of person who's like, I click, I go in, and then I just do whatever I feel like once I'm in there. But what I end up finding when I've only got the one thing to do and get out, I sometimes forget to accept the next one, or because, you know, my mates are like, hurry up, you're taking too long. I'm like rushing through things and I forget to accept the next contract. But if I already had some other like missions already started, I would have like at least I'd have something to do. It kind of like, I don't know, it irks me a little bit that you can only pick one task at the same time. This is probably my biggest negative about probably the game in total, is the visual pollution in combat. It is horrible. So when you're fighting at someone, like this is, I can't exaggerate this enough. You shoot at someone and then you've got your muzzle flash of your gun. When you're hitting the person, there's like little explosions around that person. Like I think it's like their shield getting blown up, their shield getting destroyed, and then them taking hits. So then there's like those little explosions on them. And then when they shoot back at you, you've got like the perimeter of your screen is getting flashed with like different like effects. With all this combined at the same time in fast combat, holy moly. I don't even know if I'm getting a headshot. It is so visually like disgusting. I can't use better words than that. It ruins the combat for me. Whilst the combat can be very fast and exciting, the combat is just way too messy. And I don't even know if I'm doing clean headshots and stuff in that more close quarter stuff. So say like 20, 30 meters away with like an AR or SMG, it is just a cluster. For me, that's a big negative, and hopefully they can clean it up a fair bit because it's just way too much, at least for me. This one, easy fix, but I'm assuming it comes from like a console thing, but having to hold a button in menu or in game to do stuff irks me. If I walk out to a container, I want to open the container, having to hold E, and I know this sounds ridiculous, having to hold E for like 1 second to actually open that container, and then once the container opens, you still have to wait for it to fully search stuff, then why am I holding E to open the container? It just really irks me because I just want to run out the stuff and open it, right? And even in the menu, like, so once you finish and you die or whatever's going on, you have to hold escape for like 3 or 4 seconds just to go to the next screen. Just let us go to the next screen. Escape. Yeah, I died. I'm pissed off. Going down. Holding the, being dead, and then I have to go holding this button for 3 seconds, just watching this death screen and like, are you just mocking me now? It's just like, for me, all those like hold the things comes from a console, I believe. Personally, I would love to see gone. Another one, very frustrating, if particularly if you just make a quick mistake as you're loading in. And I know there's a ready button, but once you queue, there is no way of backing out. And I'm sure we've all done it many times. It's like, you know, you go to queue up for a raid in Tarkov, and like, oh, did you bring your XYZ? And then like, oh no. Or like you forget to bring your ammo, and like for me at least, chat will tell me like, you've got to bring your ammo. Once you queue up, there is no backing out, and you could be queuing up for like 3 minutes. I'm sure matching times will drop once more people are playing the game because they're slowly releasing the access. But once you queue up, there is no backing out. It's a little thing, but easily to fix in my opinion. There's no combat log at the end of the raid. So there's, besides the amount of people that hit you and killed you, saying like it did, like someone did like 120 damage to you, another person did 40 and you died. That is the only information you get. You don't even know how many kills you got. Like we went into a game and we killed like, I don't know, 6 or 7 players. We had no idea. Between the 3 of us, we have no idea how many kills we got because there's no information. I'm sure that it's coming in 1.0. At the moment, there is 0 combat log at the end of the raid for how many kills we got, how many AIs we killed, nothing. Next, the kill acknowledgement location. This is just a simple UI choice. When you kill AI, it says just below your crosshair that you killed like, you know, grenadier or commander, like AI bots, blah, 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 blah. But then when you kill players or runners, they call them, the acknowledgement goes up the top left. And I'm so used to looking at killing the bots in the middle that I shoot at someone, I don't remember, like, I'm not really sure if I knocked him or not. And then I forget that I'm meant to look up the top left. I feel like it all should be located in the same location. So then that way my muscle memory isn't like, am I looking down for an AI bot or looking up left for the runner? It's a simple little thing, but like, why aren't they all together? They should just be all together. Now, this is probably the biggest negative for the actual whole thing. And it's probably going to be a massive conversation for them to fix. Time to kill. Now, this is not just the time to kill on players, but also bots. You can end up spending so long killing the AI that it's just annoying. Like you'll be running into a POI, you'll be shooting all these bots. They overwhelm you and swarm you, which is really like annoying when you're trying to play solo. And I really try to give this game a go as solo, but you get overwhelmed by the AI. You end up shooting like 200 rounds and killing all the AIs solo, and then you'll lose some health, and the time to kill an AI is just way too much, particularly when it's just like the scouts and the basic dudes. The whole purpose of AI, in my opinion, unless it's like some sort of like boss within the map or like an event that's going to give you good loot, the whole purpose of AI really should just be to make it so you make noise, so people go, hey, they're shooting over there, we should go check that out. At least this is my thoughts on it. So then that way it's like, oh, if you want to get in PvP combat, you know to go over there. If you want to avoid PvP combat, you know to avoid over there. And if you just want to like, and as you're clearing through that, I'm making noise now, this means that people know that I'm here. The whole idea of like, they're not challenging in a way that it's like, oh, I'm going to die to AI consistently. Once you get used to it, you can kind of kill them with no problem at all. But you do spend a lot of time just shooting them. Like I'm talking the commanders, I have like a 50 round mag on my gun, and the commander will take 50, if not 70 rounds, 0 misses by the way, to kill them. And it's like, okay, so I have to do a full mag, reload half a mag. It's just too much. It's just too much. And then when it comes to player kills, and I was talking about this before, you go to, like, as a solo, you go to try and kill a player. It takes probably close to a mag, even with getting some of those shots as a headshot. Because of all the visual pollution, it's hard to tell which are headshots and which aren't. It takes quite a lot of rounds to knock someone. And then when you knock them, you still have to full kill them. Otherwise, they can self-res. And so then you'll fight one person, you'll blow your entire mag on that one person. And then even if you do knock them, the time to kill takes so long that you've taken so much damage that you need to heal, reload before you can engage on the second one. By that time, the second player's come over, he started engaging you, and then you can't even full kill the first one. So hopefully you guys understand, like, it's going to be a constant work in progress for them to try and get the right sweet spot, because obviously as you get better gear, you're going to have more ability to like kill people faster. And I think that's probably what they're worried about, is if they make the time to kill too low and you end up having guns that just absolutely annihilate people, you just be like, brr, dead, brr, dead, brr, dead, and it's all over. And then the guys with the shitty gear are going to be like, and never kill you, So now I did run into a pretty nasty Hitreg bug and reload bug. They already have fixed this. This was actually due to high ping, and they've already found the fix and fixed it. So that's nice and good. So if you're watching any of my content previously and you saw the reload bug, that has already been fixed. And effectively the way it was working is you would reload, and some of your mag would actually reload as you were reloading, and then you would top up the rest of that mag. So then half of your mag, or nearly all your mag, would actually not even exist. So you'd be shooting at stuff and it just would not even hit them. Now I know this is just like more of a content creator focus, but it is not as enjoyable to watch as it is to play. It is actually a really fun game to play, particularly when you're in that, you got a good squad together and you're out fragging. But it does have an actual side effect. Video games these days get a lot of their advertising from content made from these games. So if it's not as enjoyable to watch as to play, that's where it can kind of hurt it when it wants to get more advertising out there. And I think this kind of goes down to a couple of things. Solo gameplay is huge for content creation. If you can play as a solo, you get more funny moments. You can do some like ratting stuff or some meme stuff. It actually works really well for content creation and the ability to actually talk to your chat whilst playing. Because when you play as a 3-man, you are constantly talking to your 3-man, and then chat gets left behind. Or for YouTube, it's kind of like, you're kind of sitting there in the background watching 3 dudes play video games. So it does kind of hurt their advertising structure if you can't play solo at all. But, from a content creation perspective, that's kind of where I sit with it. And I don't really need to talk more about that. All right, so for some of the unknown. So the cost, it's rumored to be about $40 US. Personally, I actually like this idea. Free-to-play games get absolutely plagued by cheaters, and at least some sort of money gate will hopefully slow that down. I think RMT, which is real money trading in this game, will probably be quite hard to get. So it's actually put a little bit of a gate on actually just being able to get like cheaters swarming your game, and you'll hopefully have less bad instances from that. It's meant to be a live service video game. So my understanding, you'll pay $40, you'll get access to the game, you'll get to play the game, and then they're going to do like quarterly updates or whatever it's going to be. And then you'll get access to like more and more content. So $40 gets you in, and then there's going to be some sort of like battle pass or something. No idea how much it costs. I heard from people that Destiny charges quite a lot for their ongoing service, like, you know, updates. But I'll leave it there. That's where the cost is meant to be at. Endgame. So I don't really understand what the endgame for this is going to be. If you're just going to end up getting into like god tier mode and just running in and killing everything, but you kind of need something to keep you hooked on these games for hundreds, if not thousands of hours. I heard somewhere there was going to be a ranked mode, so you could climb a leaderboard for the sweaty PvP people. That'll be great. Delta Force has one of them. Some people get really involved in it, and it is quite difficult to get to the top of them. So for some people, that'll be really huge. They've said that there's got special innovative stuff that they haven't revealed yet. 3rd and 4th maps, which people haven't seen. And then also, you know, super exciting endgame stuff. A lot of secrets. I kind of wish they would just let us know what those things are. Obviously, they want to keep stuff, you know, exciting for when the game releases, so people get hyped when the game releases. But in saying that, I kind of feel like at this current point, it's a lot of like the same stuff we've already seen, just in a different environment and world. I really hope they actually do have some cool and exciting, innovative stuff for the actual release, because whilst I think this is a very polished opportunity for people to get into the extractor shooter, it's going to have crossplay going to console and stuff like that. The biggest issue is going to be longevity. I feel like it's the biggest issue with a lot of the extractor shooters. The example I've used a lot with Escape from Tarkov is, you know, going for your kappa is your gameplay experience. Like, that's your big picture, and then every raid in between is the short story. And it's kind of like, you can, if you're a content consumer, you watch each raid and you go, oh, you know, I can leave and come back, and you know what the whole end game picture is for that person. Have they got their kappa yet, you know? Whereas with this game, I have no idea what that is and what people will be going for. It wasn't like Escape from Tarkov had kappa from the very beginning. Max Traders was kind of like the objective and the goal, and you know, it kind of evolved into kappa, and eventually it'll be escaping from Tarkov. And hopefully this game will have something like that too, that, you know, people will, you know, want to eventually get to. So I know this is very long-winded, but I tried to keep it as detailed and as informative as possible. So if you guys are checking this out, you can have an understanding of what I like and dislike, first impressions, and all that stuff in between. I probably will play this a fair bit more, just to get my understanding of like if I properly really do enjoy it or not. I have only played this game 8 hours, which, you know, is still a considerable amount of time over 2 sessions. I feel like, generally speaking, after about 8 hours, I know if I like a game or not. I like it enough that I would play it more, but I don't know if this is an 1,000+ hour game for me. I think the thing that will have a lot of people hung up on if they'll want to play it or not is the aesthetics. You'll either like it or you won't. The fog probably for me needs to go for me to really enjoy this game. I just like being able to see outdoors. Like, I want to be able to take a 300-meter snipe on this map. You know, the maps do kind of feel a little bit small. You can traverse across them pretty quick, but it kind of makes it, you can do a lot real quick, and the combat kind of happens quick, and you're not just running over, you know, mountains of area to try to find combat eventually. So I'll leave that there. This one's been going on for a while, but yeah, do appreciate it. Make sure you like and comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to keep up to date for the latest content. I'm going to try my best to get back into making these kind of videos again. I actually really do enjoy making like informative deep dive on these games. Something I enjoy. Anyway, lastly, I'll see you next time.